that one there. Off the bottom edge. 4 in the book.
Yeah, 50 partnership up as well between the two. Moving on to 81. Trying to just pierce those two behind square on the offside, but nothing doing. No pace at all on the ball.
Bit of cat and mouse there. Should I come? Should I not come?
Yeah, I think it's fascinating for me with Orion. No one ever sweeps him, do they? No one ever sweeps him. You just can't. You can cloth it into the onside. Jamie O out there at deep mid-wicket, keeping it down to a single. So, 3 boundary riders on the leg side to Tom Banton. And backward square on the offside. 2 men in tight on the drive as well. Reverse, and he's got all of it. What a fabulous shot. Straight into the scoreboard.
Sweep, but a reverse sweep after this big kick.
That's a stunner. Claire, it's over to you. Back here, Tom Laws into the attack. Full, straight, block hole, good start. Yeah. He's a hitter of memorable shots, is Tom Banton.
Very.
And that was really quite special. The reverse clobber over straightish mid wicket right into the sides, into the scoreboard. Slower this time. Chance, got him. Straight down the throat, didn't have to move. And Will Jacks, the man under the high ball, he will be delighted with that. Having shelled one earlier, Tom Kohler-Cadmore's got to go for an enterprising 39. Surrey needed that, Chef.
They definitely did, and Will Jacks will come a sigh of relief after the first drop. You know, I think sometimes the ball follows you around once you drop one, and I'm sure he's had his heart in his mouth there.
Yeah, pretty straightforward catch, well placed for the shot. Kohler-Cadmore will be a little bit cranky with himself because it was a lowish full toss, and he's tried to engineer something when he probably just had to lean on it, right?
Yeah, and he was going
there to hit.
Disappointed. I'm sure he had 50 in his sights and many more. But he's kept the momentum going, and he's accelerated it really well. Not sure about the haircut.
Yeah, the Travis Bickle.
Yeah.
Right, okay. It's going to be Tom Abel, who is their go-to man in the middle overs, very intelligent cricketer, club captain, of course. And he will go about his business. He'll be the foil to Banton, initially at least, you would think. Off the mark straight away.
Comfortably runs it down to third man.
It's hard to know what good scores are anymore in these games.
We wasn't on the game, but after the last home game, I'm not sure
exactly
what is a good score.
Exactly that. All formal. Convention has just been deposited somewhere over straight mid-wicket. Well bowled. Oh! Make that 1 from 3. Will Jacks again at backward point, and he's furious with himself. I have to say, that was there to take, and quite comfortable for this level, right in and out. You can't believe it. And nor can Tom Laws, who was down on his haunches. Could have been 2 in the over. Good comeback, it's been a good over this. As ever, he's a very creative and inventive cricketer, is Tom Laws. Will Jacks, penny for his thoughts, down now at third man, grazing in the outfield.
Like I said, Phil, sometimes the ball just follows you around, and that's another one gone down for him.
Well bowled, excellent stuff. Just 2 from it, and the wicket could have been even better.
And of all the players that are, potential missed opportunity that you don't want to give a second chance to, Tom Banton there, and Jackson will be upset, disappointed with that one, but I'm sure he'll keep his head in the game, and another chance may come to redeem himself once more.
Charmed life then so far for Tom Banton, but he's been box office when he's got himself going as well. 2 very memorable maximums so far, and it's an interesting mini passage in this game now. 90 for 2, new man at the crease, and Tom Abel. With Banton on strike, and he'll run hard here, but just settle for the single. Jamie O is against his former club, fully engaged here.
Bit of brotherly love, I'm sure there's been happening all day long.
It's a shame we're not seeing him bowl. He's great to watch. He's the big man. Brilliant signing by Surrey.
Does one parent support one and the other support the other?
That's a good question, you know. I don't think the signing went down too well down at Taunton. Bowling very well to his field here is Sean Abbott. So, Will Jacks, normally so safe, excellent fielder at backward point. You don't get to field in this team at backward point unless there's something really special about you, and yet tonight it's just not been his night. And he'll run hard again, but just settle for the single. Don't need to do anything too fancy here, these two. So here is the first of Will Jacks' 2 drops. Tough one. Would have been spectacular to have pulled it out the bag, but he'll still be a bit cranky with himself. The second, we're struggling to make excuses for this one, Chev.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Regulation.
Beautifully bowled. Jag back through the gate. Just missed the off stump on height, but this is good. Aggressive fast stump on height, bowling by Sean Abbott. Aggressive fast stump on height. I always like it when international cricketers drop really easy catches, though. It's like when you watch golfers on a Sunday night on the telly and they shank one out of nowhere. Well bowled, well played as well, just angled behind square, but just a single. In fact, he will come back for a couple and he'll make his ground comfortably.
Yeah, very good running. Run the first one hard, as they say to the kids. But you're right, dropping, when you see the pros drop an easy one,
yeah,
doesn't feel so bad when you're playing it if you shell one like that. Happens to the best, as they say.
Good over this so far, just 5 from it. Make that 9 though, that slashed away. It was there to hit, just got enough of it, and that'll be first boundary for Tom Abel. So the halfway point, folks, 99 for 2. Been a fascinating, absorbing start, and the crowd reflecting how gripping the cricket is as well. Got a full crowd in. What was that? So here we go, Chevy. The Women's Ashes is off and running. And Ashes Wednesday, the 5th of July at 6 o'clock. We've got one of the IT20s. It's going to be an absolute humdinger. 24 quid for your tickets. IT20s. It's going to be an absolute humdinger. 24 quid for your tickets. Showing all his tricks as well. Slower ball. Yeah, 24 quid for adult tickets. And as we discussed last week, just a £1 if you're under 16. You cannot say fairer than that, folks. July the 5th. 6 o'clock it all gets going. Go to KiaOval.com to buy your tickets. Get right behind it. He's in the slot there to try and launch over the onside, but again, just varying his pace a little bit. Threw the shot a bit too early. Was Tom Abel there, and so Tom Banton is able to get through.
Laws have started really well here. As you said, a few change-ups. Applied a bit of pressure.
Pick that one out, 10 yards back. Yeah, that was there to hit in truth. It was right in the slot. And Banton, it feels like it's his night as it goes. 47 now. Make that 3 boundaries, all leg side.
Massive commentator's curse there.
Slap that through the covers. He'll come back for a second. Jamie Overton doing good work there. Moves within a single of his 50. This is good stuff by Tom Banton. We'll have to do that one again, I'm afraid. So he's made 250 so far in the tournament, 31, a not out 27, a 32 and a 42. Coming off the back of a blob against Gloucester, but one of very few failures. It's been an impressive campaign so far. And that is his 50. It's well timed as well. Will run away for at least a couple. Jamie Overton's getting through some hard yakka out there. Comes back for his 50, just 30 deliveries. Excellent stuff. In fact, 29 deliveries. Doing him a dirty. Superb stuff by Tom Banton, who's really lit up this place tonight. Somerset are doing this well. 112 for 2 already. Nine overs and a ball still to go. He's hit that hard into the gap, make that 4 more. It's there to hit. Tom Laws will be irritated by that because he's bowled very tight so far. But that was there to hit. Shortish boundary down there behind square and the onside. Banton's ticking here, Chev.
Absolutely flying, and you know, this is a start Somerset would have hoped for. He's going very well, set the standard and the pace of the innings, and that's what you need up top. You need one of the openers to set the standard and get the team off to a flyer.
I'm going to vacate the place just for a moment. Solomon Orion back into the attack, his second over. Yeah, it's going to take over.
Dabs it into the leg side for a single. Not the most analytical point in the world, Jeff, but the 6 from Tom Kohler-Cadmore over Kalgorna genuinely might be one of the biggest hits I've ever seen. If they hadn't built the second tier of the Galadari stand, that would have genuinely gone out of the ground. Right, full.
I agree, yes. I think if the stand wasn't there, that is definitely going into the 4th floor flats in the Kennington estate.
Orion strikes. Abel looking for the reverse sweep, but top edges it, doesn't quite get underneath it enough, and Surrey pick up that 3rd wicket. Chef, big moment in the game there. Abel can be so dangerous, and Orion, as he so often does with Surrey in the blast, strikes just when they needed him to.
Crucial moment, you know, just as Somerset have got the momentum going, they were flying, and in the end, Abel tries to improvise, and it's a comfortable catch down there at third man, deep third man for Tom Laws.
It's a risky shot, especially with a man at deep third, even if you middle that.
Yeah, I think he's taking on the short boundary. He's thinking, if I can get enough of it, because there's not much distance, it could go for 6, and those are the risks you take in T20 cricket, and you know, in the end he's executed it poorly, and Laws with the comfortable catch, and you know, the spin king has helped Surrey potentially get back into the game here. It'll be interesting to see.
Absolutely. Tom Lambie, the new man in the middle, Surrey with 3 men on the leg side boundary, protecting that very short leg side boundary. with Chris Jordan in catching short mid-wicket. Ryan full outside off stump. Lambie can't get away.
Almost got a bit excited. I thought that was going to Jeremy Overton just inside the ring.
Lambie swings hard at second delivery. Narayan gets on to just turn away from him, but that races away to the boundary for 4. A moral victory for the bowler perhaps, but Somerset pick up 4. 122 for 3 with 1 delivery, the 12th over remaining. Again, Narayan does Lambie in the flight. An exceptional over, 6 off it. Unlucky to concede that for Somerset. 122 for 3 at the end of the 12th over.
Dynamo's cricket, it's countdown cricket, a brand new way for us to play this summer. To bowl, bat and field, to be confident and take our chances. And always having fun. This is our game.
Welcome back to the Kia over. Chris Jordan brings himself back into the attack, replacing Tom Lord from the pavilion end. Chev, I kind of think with Chris Jordan that he's almost spoilt the choice with the bowling options at his disposal. He has so many bowlers to choose from that actually choosing which guy to go to at a certain time in the game must be so difficult.
Very difficult, and I can imagine it's hard when he wants to bring himself on.
Absolutely. Like, if you're a side with fewer bowling options, you almost have more of a set plan when you go into your 20 overs. You know exactly when certain bowlers are going to bowl when. Surrey probably have an element of that. Sam Curran's probably going to do 2 up top and 2 at the end. Chris Jordan, more likely than not to bowl 2 overs at the end as well, and Narayan in the middle. But other than that, you imagine they probably don't have as set plans in the middle overs as other teams.
Yeah, their plans will definitely be quite fluid and flexible. The luxury that they have, if the game is going one way or another, they can change it up just on the spin.
Jordan goes full to Lambie, who again can't quite get that one away. He's 4 or 4 now, Lambie, but those 4 runs were fortuitous, coming off the outside edge. Off the bowling of Sunil Narayan.
Looks like he's struggling to pick it up a bit earlier. With the spin, it's a bit different off Narayan, hard to pick. He's just kind of big whoosh to CJ.
He gets this one away, but flicks it straight to Will Jackson. Deep flying leg. I mean, to what it shoots another right. Sunil Narayan, one of the best mystery spinners in the world game. Chris Jordan, 90 miles per hour, one of the best death bowlers in the world game. 2 completely different threats from the 2 ends here for Surrey. It's a big test for Lambie. It's a really good pitch, short boundary on one side. Somerset going at 10 runs and over. Can he continue that momentum? Jordan will pace it off, and Banton dabs that into the offside for a single. It's a good little spell here for Surrey. Very, very quietly. Very good little spell.
Slowly clawing it back a little bit. As you say, Lambie, as we go into the deeper depths of the second half, he's going to look to try and continue the momentum that Somerset have got. Don't want to get bogged down too much, but Surrey quite happy now with dotting it up a little bit and just singles. Somerset have been dealing in boundaries for a lot of this innings, so it's a little bit of a fight back right now.
Cut away behind square on the offside, and Lambie picks up his 2nd boundary. Jordan probably just a little bit too wide there, not really bowling. How Somerset have really punished anything loose. Anything loose has disappeared straight to the boundary. Jordan in again. Pace off again. 1 run down, 3rd man. We're only 13 overs in, Jeff, but it looks like pace off is working pretty well on this wicket. When the pace has been on, it's pretty much gone to the boundary as quick as it's come to the batter.
Yeah, Surrey done really well when they've changed it up and played with those variations. When Narayan's been on with the artistry that he has, it's been quite amazing. We've seen the ball flying left, right and centre once with the paces on. So hopefully as we go into the kind of the final stages of this innings, you'll see more of that from Surrey.
Narayan in again. Bowled in!
Oh.
You called it, the archery of Narayan. Strikes again. He picks up his second wicket. Tom Lamby departs for 10. Surrey have their fourth wicket. Somerset 113 for 4 in the 14th over.
Yeah, beautiful from Spinking here. Lammonby seemed like he was struggling quite a lot as soon as he came in against Narayan.
Yorks him really. Every delivery that Narayan bowled to Lamby, you got a sense that Lamby was done in the air really. He never was that confident about where the ball was going to land.
I agree, yes, and again, just on that one as well, he's gone forwards, misjudged the flight of the ball. He's gone to full-on drive and he's just got underneath his bat and he's almost nearly yorked himself.
Narayan, absolute master of his craft. 507 T20 wickets now, 507. Phil was making the point earlier on in the show that Somerset, if you compare their lineup to Surrey, they're more top-heavy with the bat. They're more reliant on the work of the top 5 or 6 batters. And in comes Ben Green at number 6, who's had a phenomenal season. But you feel that a couple of wickets here matter more for a side like Somerset with the bat compared to Surrey, who literally bat to 11.
Yeah, of course.
Narayan into Green. And as much as anything, you feel that with those 2 wickets in 3 overs now for Surrey, even if they don't prize out another one, it'll probably lead to Somerset batting with a little bit more caution for the next 5 or so minutes.
Yeah, a lot of pressure relies a lot on Banton here. You know, he's being going really well, but now as we approach the final, few overs, with the wickets dropping and with Somerset's batting a bit light towards the end, he's got to think here, can I bat through the innings and how much more can I contribute to this?
Banton knocks that down the ground for 1. It's interesting that Banton's actually only faced 4 deliveries off Narayan. Narayan well into his 3rd over now. Banton's he got that 1 boundary off Narayan, but other than that, he's just got off strike straight away and not really got back on it. Narayan, that's another beautiful delivery, doing Green through the air. I guess that's what makes Narayan so dangerous. He deceives batters in 2 different ways. He does them with the flight, and then he does them again off the pitch.
Yeah, Narayan smile there, just a little chuckle.
A little bit flatter into the pitch. Narayan's not happy with himself. He's not quite executed that delivery as he planned. He only concedes 1. Another quietly good over for Surrey here. Just 4 off it, off 5 deliveries, 1 to go. Banton gives himself room.
Flat 6, straight over extra cover.
Banton picks up his 4th 6 of the evening. Brilliant shot. Gives himself a couple of steps away into the leg side, so he can free the arms, and he targets that short boundary. No one on the deep cover boundary for Surrey. There are 2 men catching in the ring. So a relatively risk-free shot for Banton. He picks up 6. Takes the score to 140 for 4. Banton moves on to 65 of 35. What an innings this is for Tom Banton.
Unbelievable. And what he did there on that last shot, as you said, he gave himself room. He's still set with a solid base, and his hands go through it beautifully straight over extra cover. No danger out there, short boundary, and a flat 6.
Tom Laws replaces the captain, Chris Jordan, from the pavilion end. On a length outside off stump. Green knocks into the offside, looking for 2. And they pick up 2 quite comfortably.
Comfortably held there in the end. And, I think Somerset have really ran well this innings. Turned definitely some 1s into 2s, and it just shows all the young cricketers out there watching. Maybe through the older ones, with games coming up tomorrow, run your first one hard and it gives you a chance in the second one.
Straight down the ground for another 6. Green picks up his first maximum, slaps Tom Law straight down the ground for 6. Somerset building back a little bit of momentum after a quiet 10 or so balls.
I think Green was Definitely been watching some of that MLB London series there. That was very baseball-esque.
It was.
Slaps it straight back over Laws' head for 6.
A great shot, great shot. And is reminding Surrey about the number of different boundary options that Green has. As we see a field change mid-off, drops back to long off. Deep third comes into the ring. 2 men behind square, within the ring, the offside. Laws full. Green drives down the ground, picks up just 1. We're talking about running hard. You feel that with that massive boundary on the Archbishop Tennyson School side of the ground, there are many twos that are taking if you pick your gaps.
100%, and it just, when you run that first one, it puts pressure on the fielder. They might fumble it, might not get a clean throw.
In the slot. And 6 more. Tom Banton picks up his 5th 6. I think we've got a crowd catch as well. They're absolutely loving it in the crowd.
Have to see if it was a clean one.
Tom Laws over pitches slightly. Tom Banton gets underneath it and dispatches it into the Galladari stand. I can't quite tell from that replay, but there's one exceptionally happy man in the Galladari stand right now. He's on screen.
I don't know who's more happy, him or his friends. I think he's getting next rounded.
The second 6 of the over, turning into another big one for Somerset. Full toss, doesn't quite get hold of it this time. Only 1 run to the short boundary.
It'd be disappointed he missed out on that full toss there. Just bottom toes it.
You almost think these days, with the way players set themselves for the ball in the slot, they're actually less well equipped for the full toss than they used to be.
Yeah.
But as we saw last week when Will Jack hit 5-6 off the first 5 balls of the over, last ball was a rank full toss, but he crossed it to the guy. You think that's the perfect ball to get when you're in that position.
He hasn't missed out on that.
And again, a third 6 to the over for Somerset. I think they might have another crowd catch. The crowd absolutely love that. Celebration to rival the first one. The guy's gone absolutely berserk. But another huge over for Somerset. 3 6s off it as we see the replay on Ben Green's second 6. We'll have a look at the replay. Can't quite tell off that, but Tom Laws takes a little bit of pace off. It's not, you'd say that's probably in the slot. And again, with that short boundary, Green gets his arms through it, and like the 6 before it.
Clean catch. He looks young, so get him a Coca-Cola.
Ryan starts his final over with a wide, but what an over that was for Somerset. 22 runs off it, 163 for 4 after 15 overs. We're heading for another huge score here at the Kia Oval. Banton goes for that trademark reverse sweep, doesn't get hold of it. Big cry for LBW. It's turned down by the umpire. Banton 72 now off 38 deliveries.
Take 2.
Banton goes the same shot again, and this time he picks up 4. I guess the thinking is there's literally no one in front of the square on the offside, so you get any decent bat on that, you're getting full value for runs. And I guess Banton is so good at that shot that he can really control where it goes. For him, the reverse sweep doesn't always go behind square. He's good enough to control it. It's more of a switch it, kind of takes your mind back to Kevin Beaton in 2006 against Sri Lanka.
Yeah, and he's just targeted the short boundary really well all innings, whether it's been with some traditional stroke play or some unorthodox shots like that switch hit there.
So a field change there. The man at points gone back to boundary. Mid-off's come in from long off.
And it's great batting from Banton because now he's just put off Narayan off his line. Doesn't really know where to land it at the moment.
Ryan tucks Banton for room. Banton picks up 1. moves on to 77. So much this game it just comes down to protecting that short boundary, I think. Give the opposition as few opportunities as possible to pepper that short boundary. Because we've seen today, you're right, Banton, he's looked for every opportunity, kind of regardless of where the ball is.
Yeah.
Right into Green. Green, who, in the blink of an eye, really, has moved to 18 off 8. Ryan with 2 balls left in his spell. A couple of years ago, you'd say if you're Somerset right now, you just play out the last 2 deliveries from Ryan. He offers a risk, a threat that no one else in the Surrey team has in the same way. But as we have a third widely over, modern batters don't really think like that, though. They'll just think two more balls to attack.
Yeah, 2 more boundaries. It's either 12 runs or potentially 8 runs. You know, you just got to go for it. And with this short boundary, why not?
Ryan in again. Banton doesn't get hold of it, but he'll pick up 1.
I always like that subtle look when looking at as a batter looks at their bat, and they kind of cloth it a bit. And with Banton doing it, the bat's been doing all right, to be fair to it.
If you're Somerset, I think you'd probably take 2 for 38 off Narayan's first 3.5 overs as he bowls the last ball of his spell. Green comes down the ground, doesn't get hold of it. They scamper through for 1 leg by Somerset. 173 for 4 after 16 overs.
And that exit for the expert commentator, Mr. Phil Walker.
Four to go, folks. 173 for 4. Tom Banton, what a clinic this evening. And the crowd are entirely wrapped with this. So every now and then you get the sense that there's a cricket match happening somewhere. There's a mild inconvenience or a mild diversion to the serious stuff of having a giggle on a Friday night. Well, not tonight. They're in for this. Curran, more runs, 1 bounce 4. There to hit. Most uncurran like to serve up something so appetising, and Ben Green, your man, yeah, has come out and really taken this innings on yet again. There was a mini blip in the middle overs when they lost 2 quick ones. Poor old Tom Lammonby. But yeah, he's come in again. Ben Green, very canny player, very highly regarded, I know, by the Somerset hierarchy and by yourself. 22 from 10 already.
A few sloppy moments, I'm sorry, though, today that I think they'll ruin. That's a no ball there from Sam Curran to start his third over. The 2 drop catches from Will Jacks as well.
Curran, as ever, pulls it back. How often, when he does go for a boundary 4, does he follow up with the dot ball? It's one of the reasons why he is the world's most expensive T20 cricketer.
During that T20 World Cup, I was trying to work out what is it about Curran that makes him so effective, because he's not particularly quick, he's not particularly tall. I think he's just so good at making those decisions you only have a split second to make. When you see a batter give themselves a couple of yards of room, he's so good at making that late adjustment himself.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. You see certain cricketers who, they might be teenagers, but they're also as old as the hills. And Sam Curran, of course, who comes from serious cricketing stock. His father, Kevin, was a damn fine international cricketer, Zimbabwean born. Just feels like it's in his blood, it's in his genes, it's in his veins. He knows how to navigate cricket matches. We saw it when he was a 17-year-old here at the Kia Oval, and we're seeing it now on the world stage. He's in a game. Squeezed past off some. And they will come back for a second. Feels like it's Tom Banton's evening, does it not? 80 now from 42. Somerset well on course here for 220, 215, 220. Although predicting T20 cricket matches these days is a fool's errand, let's put it that way. Curran, can he get out of this over? Just 3 deliveries to come. Banton on strike, he's pulling. Long leg up into the ring on the 45. He's now got 2 men out on the offside. Right in the slot, what a shot. What a shot that is. You cannot hit a cricket ball any more cleanly than that, Tom Banton. It was there to hit. You have to just lean on it and let those lightning fast hands, of which he's famous, just go through the ball. But that is as clean as you could possibly connect.
He's been right on it since ball one. I think he would have watched that 250 game last week, licking his lips at the prospect of batting on this pitch.
Straight up in the air. Curran underneath it, never in doubt. Turns away and moves back to his mark. He's all business, is Sam Curran. He'll be ticking after an in-out over, but the big man goes, the danger man. 16 shy of what would have been his third T20 career 100. Tom Banton has turned it on here in South London on a Friday night.
Somerset, of course, already through to the knockout stages. That bodes well for the rest of their campaign. Tom Banton with his highest score for anyone in the world in T20 cricket for 2 years. 84 off 44. Somerset, 186 for 5. Now is 3.1 overs to go.
Casey Aldridge is the new man. Young cricketer, former England under-19 starlet. Did he play in that tournament that you were out there?
He did, actually. He was in the squad. He's one of the few bowling all-rounders in that 2020 under-19 World Cup. We were mentioning earlier, he's had a good couple of weeks. He contributed with both bat and ball in their county championship win over Notts the other day. And he got 30-odd, I think, from number 7 in victory against Gloucestershire in the Blast a week or so ago. So a man in form doing this particular role.
Beat for pace there. Bit of zip. Bit of frustration there as well by Sam Curran, who chucks the ball away. He's picked up the big wicket, but he's still disgruntled.
There have been quite a few overs like that in this innings where Surrey would say they've nailed it, maybe 5 deliveries out of 6 in the over. But the one delivery that they've got it wrong, they've really been punished, and that just turns overs that are worth 7 or 8 into overs that are 11 or 12. And as a result, Somerset ends the last 3 overs eyeing up a score of around about 220. And we know this is a good pitch, we know we've got a short boundary. But 220 on any pitch, with Somerset's excellent bowling attack as well, bolstered by the overseas leg spin of New Zealander Rich Sodhi.
It's going to be Chris Jordan then. We've still got 2 overs to bowl. That's going to run away again. Not much that the keeper could have done about that. This is the nature of the game at this stage. Jordan as laconic as they come, but even here it's starting to get under his skin a wee bit. He's smiling and laughing with the umpire, but you know that it's getting under his skin what's happening here. This is a big game for this club. Make no mistake, they are the juggernaut of English cricket. But white ball cricket has remained an elusive silverware for them for too long. They know it, the crowd knows it. In the slot, 4 more. Nobody there for it. Ben Green flies into the 30s, 31 from 14 now. Again, indicative really of a bowling display where it's not quite worked for them. Jordan is normally so lethal. He can bowl those block hole balls with his eyes closed, but that was their longish half volley to hit. May have only taken the outside edge, but it was still a ball that Jordan would like to have put away.
Streaky again from Green, but anything outside off stump's going to fly to that short, that deep third boundary.
Slower ball this time. Fresh air shot by Ben Green, but already 8 from 3. So, you imagine Jordan will see off the 20th. Sam Curran's still got 1 more to bowl, so you assume he'll take the penultimate over, where your real gun seamer tends to lurk. The penultimate over, they say these days, is the one that goes the furthest. So it'll be Curran to see us off from the Mickey Stewart Members Pavilion end, and it'll be Jordan, you imagine, with 9 deliveries left from the JM Finn. He's in again, in the slot, hit hard, but he's got a man, of course, long off. He'll take that at this stage with Chris Jordan.
I guess it kind of goes against the instinct of this Surrey bowling attack, but I've sort of felt since the very start of this game that pace-off has worked really well. Sean Abbott in his first over took the pace off a couple of times. The most those balls went forward was singles down the ground. Jordan, I know he was unlucky that the first two balls both go for four, but at the same time, that does happen when you got pace on a pitch like this.
Does he give himself room again, Casey Aldridge here with two men short? Yeah, you felt he was going to try and eye up that boundary behind the two men in the circle behind square, and Chris Jordan no doubt knew it too. The old slower ball bouncer-ish into the pitch, hard to engineer too much from that, especially with the new man in. Not yet off the mark. Can Jordan creep out of this over without too much more damage? There's one delivery to come. 1.95 for 5 is a good score. Doesn't matter how flat, that is a good score.
Pace off again, knocks into the leg side. They'll pick up this one. Chris Jordan, obviously one of the great Yorker bowlers in world cricket. And one thing I think that gets lost in the debate about how frequently bowlers should bowl Yorkers at the end of an innings, or any stage of an innings, is I think even if you nail it, just by virtue of having that much pace on the ball, you can still go for runs. You can bowl the perfect delivery, and you can say you're unlucky, but we know how T20 cricket is played now. There's vast databases that tell you almost that what is likely to happen. I'm not sure it is unlucky. If you know that one in 4 perfect Yorkers go for 4, is that unlucky? That's kind of just what happens. And I think that has to be factored into the game plan.
No hiding place. Sam Curran, 12 balls to go. Just a single. They won't mind that though. Ben Green, the man in, striking at 200 as it stands. They won't acknowledge it. They might not even feel it, but it would not be natural if they didn't have a slight underlying anxiety here, Surrey, because they've been so dominant for the first 2.5 months of the season. As Curran's in again. On the sweep, and it will clear the man. Not quite the boundary, but it will run away for 4 at least. Inventive stuff again by Ben Green. It's been an excellent hand by the number 5. It's a mini blip, it's nothing more than that. They are the runaway leaders in the county championship. They are coming off that reversal that nobody really foresaw against Lancashire. They also got turned over by their kind of recalcitrant cousins from the north, if you like, who couldn't even buy a win and then knocked down basically a record chase. And if they were to come unstuck somehow, having been as swaggering as Surrey at their best through the first 10 or so games in this tournament, they need a win either tonight or Sunday. There's no two ways about that. They have Essex here Sunday afternoon, and they're going to be chasing down a big one here. In the block hole this time. Squeeze into the offside, into the onside. Just a single, not too bad a result to get Casey Aldridge, the new man, back on strike.
I think a sign of the jitters that you talk about, Phil, is just actually how much they're changing the field ball to ball. Curran bowled 2 balls in a row there to Green, and it was a completely different field for the 2 balls. So we talked about earlier in the game about how they clearly had set plans for each individual player. That's kind of changed at this point in the innings.
Curran doing what he does. They considered a second, but no dice there. The cut-off time is 7:49. They've got 3 minutes to play with, so that won't be a problem.
I don't know about you, but I find it difficult looking at T20 scorecards now, and when you look at the bowlers' figures, it's working out what is a good spell.
Yeah. OK, Curran will take that, I think, all things considered. Over to go. In fact, correction, 1 more delivery still. So 7 deliveries to go. 2:04 for 5.
There'll be people at home probably looking at the scorecard, seeing Sean Abbott going for 1 for 28 off his 3, kind of wondering, why didn't he get that 4th over?
Oh, well, went at 9s, that's the game. Slower ball, he spied it, did Casey Aldridge, but he didn't get much of it. And Surrey will definitely take that. He retains the strike. He would have preferred Big Ben Green to be flexing those muscles and teeing off. That's another new development, apparently. Who was saying that the other day on the telly? That you take the majority of the strike in a T20 game, and you're even prepared to turn down singles if it means that the main batter is in, ready to go. Constantly evolving this game. Well, I remember when people used to think it was a hit and a giggle. A bit more to it than that.
Well, Aldridge went very well batting in a similar position last week, but he's 4 off 6 now. He's not really found his rhythm with the bat as Jordan starts the final over the innings of Somerset. 205.
Slower ball, played into extra cover, and Surrey are comfortable enough. Not going to be any shies at the stumps and risking a second.
Just on that fiver from Curran, just 9 off it. You take that the 19th over of a T20, particularly here with the boundary that we have on the Somerset side of the ground. He finishes 1 for 34 or 4 overs, which are very tidy figures indeed.
So the high-risk strategy of going right arm round to the right-hander. Final stages of a T20 game, so he brings his offside field up, so he's got a ring of 4 now from extra cover round to a kind of fly slip. And it's Jordan doing Jordan things. It makes a lot of sense. He has 4 men in a vast ring on the onside. It's high risk, but you have to back yourself. And this is a cricketer who's been doing the business over 2 stints and a good time down on the south coast with Sussex and plenty of times for England. He's still as sharp and as up for it, frankly, as he ever has been. Yeah, class, pure class. Knew exactly what Ben Green was going to try and do.
That's what makes this battle so good. The field tells the batter exactly what Jordan's going to do. Jordan knows that the batter knows that as well.
Yep.
But he also knows that if he executes that Yorker in exactly the place that he wants to bowl it, 8 times out of 10, he's going to come out the winner. The fielders on the offside are basically just additional spectators at the moment.
Not quite this time. You can see what he's trying to do.
Jordan. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
What a final over this is turning out to be. 2 deliveries to go. Can Ben Green engineer something from it? 206 for 5 as it stands. Mad as it says, but Surrey will take that when they, considering where they were at the start of the 19th as it stands. 2 big deliveries in the context of this match.
10 runs off the last 10 balls.
And just a single, I think. He's going to come back off the pad. And he's gone. Oh! Errant throw in the end, in truth. And Jamie Smith took it. It was from Sam Curran coming in, a bullet southpaw arm, but wide of the stumps, and Jamie Smith had no choice but to try and redirect it back with a flick of the outside of the right hand. It didn't materialise. They got back 2. 208 for 5, final delivery.
He's bowled the same delivery 4 balls in a row, and it's worked so far. Do you reckon he'll finish with another one, 5 in a row?
I quite fancy a slowie. A slowie here.
Ball into the pitch.
Yeah. Cloth to Jamie O at deep mid-wicket. Gone again. Followed the batsman. A magnificent masterclass at the end by Chris Jordan. He's still ticking, yeah, as you can see. You can see it in the body language. That was an up and down and at times erratic performance by Surrey in the field, but they've clawed it back with their 2 champion bowlers, Curran and Jordan, right at the death. 208 for 5 sounds a lot, is a lot, but definitely surmountable for a team that needs this win, needs this result. Surrey, of course, as we know, they back down to 11.5 this lot. Don't worry about that. But our old enemy, scoreboard pressure, will play its part.
Quite an odd innings in a way, and I think Surrey will feel like they did a lot of things. Like you say there that Jordan and Curran nailed the last 2 overs. Abbott bowled well and Ryan bowled well, but there were just too many moments of sloppiness, really. The unforced errors, the 2 drop catches from Will Jacks, the misfield from Laurie Evans, Sam Curran no ball. Just 5 or 6 moments that probably in the end gifted Somerset in the region of 15 to 20 runs.
So quick rundown of the scorecard. Tom Banton, star of the show, 84 from 44 with 7 4s and 5 6s, and those 6s stay hit, I'm here to tell you. Will Smead, he got clanged early on, and he didn't really look at the races thereafter, and he skewed Abbott up to current mid-on, so he went for 6. Tom Kohler-Cadwell played nicely for 39 from 23. Tom Abel, the skipper, didn't quite get going. Hold out to Tom Laws from the bowling of Sun and Orion, who came in, ambled in, laconically, did what he did, broadly unhittable. Although Tom Banton, in fairness, did climb into a couple of stunningly inventive reverse sweeps. Tom Lavenby, he's a player I like, but doesn't seem to get many runs. 10 from 8. He played all round Sun and Orion to give Narayan his second. Ben Green played well for 38, 40 in fact, not out at the end. Casey Aldridge just 5. And the bowlers, they shared it around. Sun and Orion the standout yet again. Pace off the ball, yes. As you keep saying, you're absolutely right. Be interesting to see how Ish Sodhi, who is already out there, by the way, just getting into his work, visualising what's to come. He might be a wee bit rusty. And Surrey are going to resume pretty soon. 209 to win. It's going to be a humdinger. Stay with us.
Chevy. Well, what about that then for the first innings? Over 40,000 people watching this live from around the world, whether they're in the stadium or watching on the live stream. Welcome. I hope you enjoyed that. Chevy Green joining me. You legged it up here from commentary. How are you feeling?
Very good. A bit out of breath. But I made it in time, so it's all, we're in a good position.
Well, you were looking at the sights as we were about to go on air, and I did have to kick Chevy to be like, come on, Chevy, get with it. What do you make of that first innings then?
Great first half for Somerset. Some excellent batting up top from Tom Banton. So he's going to have to do really well to target that short boundary, just like Somerset have done.
Talk to me about Tom Banton. Some excellent batting there from him.
Yeah, some great shots, some shots straight over extra cover for 6, a few flat ones. Amazing reverse sweep of Sutton on the run of all people, which went a few rows back too. So he's done superbly well and continues to rise his stock.
And he'll be gutted not to reach a century as well, won't he? He
will. You know, he was on the cards for it. He was played so well, extremely clean hitting, excellent running between the wickets. So he'll be disappointed, but he'll be pleased at the same time. He's done a